So a lot of people will ask me, CT, where are you in the market? Where's the market right now? What's going on? I don't understand it. And it's actually kind of somewhat easy to understand if you're not looking for a black and white answer. And the answer is that there's two competing factors, main factors here that are affecting the market. One is high rates that are putting a downward pressure on pricing in the market. And the other is low inventory, which is putting in upward pressure on pricing in the market. So the rates, and interestingly, right, the lack of inventory is actually related to the high rates as well. And let me explain. So a year and a half ago, the Fed started raising rates from historic lows. Like people that I know, were getting mortgage rates in the 2% something, 2 point something percent. A lot of people had mortgages in the 3 point something percent range. And now we're more than double that, right? We're at 7.5% in mid-October in 2023. So with that, that has successfully gummed up the works, right? That's what the Fed is intended to do, is try to slow the economy. And one of the ways they do it is by slowing the real estate market and the banking sector by raising rates. You would think that banks would be making tons of money because of higher rates, but actually it turns out that nobody really wants to borrow when the rates are really high. So, and nobody wants to transact on houses or real estate when the rates are really high as well, especially when they've been used to historically low prices, or rates, I should say, mortgage rates. So, so we've seen a drop maybe around 5% in pricing in New York City. I think it depends on which numbers you're looking at and who you're listening to, but something like that. But the number of transactions in the market has dropped between 30 and 40% from last year. Okay, so we are down in terms of number of sales in 2023 versus 2022 by 32+%. So even though the number of transactions are low, the prices haven't dropped that much. And part of the reasons that the prices haven't dropped more is because we have low inventory. And the thing I was explaining before is that part of the reason that we have low inventory is because the rates are so high. So people don't want to transact, right? So people that might be otherwise moving or upgrading or downgrading, whatever the case may be, they look at what they can afford with rates double of what their current mortgage is. And they say, well, I don't want to move right now. Like if I can avoid moving right now, I'm going to stay put. And that's keeping inventory off the market. Because if you look at the pricing, if you're a seller and you actually look at the pricing in New York City right now, it's actually not that bad. So if you want to sell, now is actually not a bad time because there is low inventory and because there are not a lot of good options for buyers. The thing that I was talking about with another agent here at the agency recently, we were talking about, is it a buyer's market or is it a seller's market? And the way that I've come to realize over the past 10 years, well, the way I handle, I know whether we're in a buyer's market or a seller's market without looking at the latest statistics, is internally when I'm looking for more business and hoping to get buyers or sellers, I find myself leaning towards, oh, I wish I had more buyers right now, or I wish I had more sellers right now. And internally, like I've noticed that I'm a little conflicted on that. I feel like I still want more buyers, and I still want more sellers. Not to say that I just want more business, but it's actually like fairly balanced. I think that the market has been moving sideways and slightly down for about a year now, and I'm leaning towards more buyers. I'm going to say it's like slightly more of a buyer's market, and it's headed in that direction. But again, on the pricing side of things, prices have not dropped that much, so sellers are still in pretty good shape. Another agent that I know, I follow on social media, was like, it's still a seller's market. And that is true to some degree. Prices are still good. So that just should give you some idea of what's going on in the market. It's not a clean, easy answer, but just remember those two competing factors: high rates keeping prices down, pushing prices down, and low inventory kind of supporting pricing in the market. All right, I hope that's helpful, and I'll talk to you soon.